So, what do you do when things aren't going right? What do you do when things are falling apart? What do you do? Hello, I'm Pamela Sullivan, the Mojo Maker, back with another hot Mojo tip. Today, let's talk about when life falls into chaos and falls into disarray, or just falls into all hell breaking loose. And you know what, guys? That usually happens more often than you would care to realize. Just recently, I was reminded of the Terp term entropy. And entropy in its most basic terms means that the universe is more chaotic than we realize. And when we get a path of clear sailing or smooth sailing, or if something beautiful happens to us, is to be grateful and cherish it, because there is more chaos coming behind. And it's funny how we seem to be thrown off guard when these things happen. We need to expect it, not welcome it or want it, but it's part of life, the ups and downs of life. We think that we're going to catapult ourselves way up here and somehow hang out up here in good times and good feelings and good circumstances and all of these things, realizing that what goes up will eventually come sliding back down to some degree. And we seem to be thrown off guard when these things happen. Not that I'm asking you to expect bad times, but understand the ebb and flow of life. Just like a heartbeat, isn't it? You know, the up and down of the heartbeat, so goes life. We go up, we come down, we go up, we come down. But as all of that up and down is going on, it's about finding that quiet space within us that we can smoothly move through those times of chaos. That when things come down, we aren't thrown out of control. We aren't running off into the night screaming because we didn't see these circumstances coming our way, or if someone passes away, or if somebody leaves us, or if our business falls apart, or the myriad of things that can possibly go wrong can go wrong. Some of us term that as Murphy's Law. Whatever you choose to call it, expect these things to happen. And how can you sort of shore yourselves up to ensure that you are able to move through, that you're able to row your boat gently across those rough seas when they come your way? Well, my favorite number one go-to is to be calm and breathe. You know, on a count of four, breathe in 4 breaths, hold it, and then release on 4. Hold in, breathe in 4, hold it, and then release on 4. And I know some of you, when you're in your high anxiety moments, there's no time for breathing. But breathing and the breath is life. When you stop breathing, you realize there's no more life, right? So engage yourself in breathing. Do whatever you need to do to calm yourself down, whether you go for a walk or for a run or meditate or whatever it is you have to do to focus in on bringing some, what I call good ass mojo back into your body and relaxing yourself down. Yes, the circumstances are still here, falling apart over here, but if you can't bring yourself back to a place of strength and calmness, that will take you down. And what good are you if you're allowing that to take you down? Correct? Now, the second thing you can do is find support for yourself. Who says you have to go through life freaking out alone? There are tons of people around you, if they consider yourself to be friends, who will be more than happy to listen to you as you go through. And sometimes just in the talking and bouncing things off of another, the solution comes to you. So don't be afraid to engage your number one circle of friends, or maybe it's a therapist, or maybe it's a coach or a mentor. I can help you with that. But find someone who can help you listen to yourself, go through, and come up with the solutions, because we all have the solutions. Sometimes we just don't sit ourselves down long enough to hear ourselves say them. Okay? Now, another thing that you can possibly do is start writing things down. I love journaling. Journaling, it helps me escape the noise in my brain and put things down, you know, bring things out from here or maybe up here. I call that sort of universal power, and bring it down into paper where I can see what it is that's actually going on and what I'm thinking. One of the things I do when I first engage my clients is I ask them to put down 101 things they would like to do, be, or have. And it just floors them because they get stuck past number 3 for some reason, because we've never been asked what it is that we want. But I also ask those that are running into trouble about certain circumstances is to write down 101 ways that you can figure this thing out. It can be as silly as um, you're going to dress up as a clown and collect money on the street corner. It could be ridiculous stuff like this. It could be illegal stuff. I don't know. But when you start engaging your thinking and bringing things down into paper, the solutions become self-evident. And in that writing, you might find 2 or 3 things to help you solve the issue. And some of it you may never have come into realization of before doing this particular exercise. And it's even more fun when you do it with other people. The ridiculous things that come up are just amazing. And some of those things are actually things that you can actually put into action and maybe even turn into a money-making business if you're sharp enough about it. Okay, so start thinking, engage in your thinking, get quiet and breathe. Life is going to happen. Life's going up and down, like I said. And it's not stopping for you. You're not special. It doesn't care about you in that particular way. Your job is to figure out how to slide through it without being torn down internally, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. Okay? What else can you do to help get through life's turbulence? Just know, just know that this is where you are. We all go through particular seasons. About a year ago, I was on my way to a particular thing. I was going to sort of go to the next level in my business. I was doing some major networking with some major players, and then life happened to me. I didn't see it coming. Who would have thought that what happened to me was going to happen to me? And I can kick and scream and rail against life and say how unfair. And I did that for about a week or two, of course, because I'm human. But I realized that I was burning a whole lot of energy doing that. We have to accept the things that happen to us and stop resisting it. Go with it. Where in all of that happened to me can I find a place of solitude, a place of effectiveness? So even though my life might have come down in a certain way, I was still able to find a place in which I can still be effective and still do all that I have to do. So don't stand in resistance when things happen to you. Yeah, it might be uncomfortable and you might want to shrink and you might want to hide and you may want to cry, and do that for a minute if you have to, but get back up. Life is doing what life is supposed to do, and sometimes when these things happen to you, it's trying to show you the power and the strength that you have within. Until the foibles of life hit you hard, you have no idea what you're made of and what you can possibly do. This last year is showing me all that I'm made of and all that I can do. So whatever comes my way, I can take it on and maybe still put my makeup on and my lipstick on and throw on my clothes and still go out there and still be Pamela, the Mojo Maker. So these are just about 4 or 5 things I've spoken about here today. There is a whole long list of other things, and I will continue to bring it to your attention. But just for today, how can you get back up from that place of ineffectiveness and powerlessness and still put on your makeup and your clothes, or guy or girl, you decide what you're going to put on, but where can you stand in your strength and your power and your mojo and go out there and do all that you're supposed to do? Because life is just doing what it's supposed to do. What are you supposed to be doing? Okay? So stay strong. I'm Pamela Silva, the Mojo Maker, back with another hot mojo tip. Wishing you a day of power, effectiveness, and real cool, big ass mojo. Talk to you soon.